Doctor, thank you for having us here, and we have come here to discuss issues about energy. We are aware that we are having a Karuma hydropower project being commissioned next week. So just bring us up to speed about the event next week and what should we expect. Thank you. We start with your names and what you do.
I'm Dr. Patricia Litho. I'm Assistant Commissioner for Communication and Information Management here at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. This month, next week, it's quite an exciting time for the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development because finally we get to commission the Karuma hydropower project. We shall also commission the Karuma interconnection project. So this is the dam and the transmission line that evacuates power off the station to different places. So there are 4 substations in different places to basically contribute towards stabilizing the energy infrastructure. So it's a 600 megawatt power plant. It is the largest in Uganda. It's one of the biggest in Africa. I've read in places where they say in terms of technology, it is the first in Africa, 7th in the world because of the under-tunnel technology they are using to produce power. So we are quite excited. It means that we have more power on the grid coming to about 2,000, slightly more than 2,046 megawatts. Uganda is targeting 52,000 by 2040. So that is a step towards the right direction. Of course, there are so many other generation plants that are in offing that are planned for. We are moving towards renewable energy. So of course, Uganda's energy transition plan is to be clean, use renewable. So we're on the right path.
In the sector, there's always this statement, energy poverty. So first of all, I'd like to know from your perspective, do we have energy poverty in Uganda? And as we have Karuma coming onto the grid, what are some of those, is it going to tackle anything related to energy poverty, not only in Uganda and also in the East African region?
Yes, because Uganda is part of the East African power pool. By producing more power, it means we can contribute more. It is also a source of revenue. Of course, we've had suppressed demand. So the demand for energy or electricity in Uganda is actually quite significant. But how widespread is our infrastructure? So our infrastructure is a growing one in terms of reach. For instance, just last month we managed for the first time to reach West Nile in terms of getting them onto the grid, which is more stable. But the government of Uganda uses a hybrid or a mixed approach where we are encouraging different sources of power. There's the hydro, there's the solar. Of course, there are the more rudimentary methods that we want to move away from and move more to clean energy. But we know that people still use charcoal. So an alternative, we are promoting briquettes, which is cleaner. We are promoting ethanol, which is cleaner. So we are promoting different sources of energy so that people can access what's easier for them. Some people in remote places where there is no access in terms of the grid, but even solar, maybe for one reason or the other, it's not yet there. But also, in the last month, government has also launched several projects. Of course, in addition to Sistema that's already producing solar, we have the Ituka one that was launched through Amia Power that is going to be set up in Madiokolo. So the energy plan, the energy strategy for the country is broad, and there's so many plans. So in terms of talking about energy poverty, I think it really depends on where you look at it from.
Okay, Doctor, the 600 megawatts power station, how does it align with Uganda's energy transition goals and renewable energy targets?
It does. First of all, hydro is a renewable energy source, so it is clean. It also increases how much energy we have. Now we move to over 2,000. But the bigger goal of government is to move towards 52,000 megawatts. But the drive is really to not just have energy or electricity for basic use like household, but also to encourage industrialization. So even when you look at the current National Development Plan 3 and preparation for NDP4, we are moving in that direction to increase load. Load, we mean the people who can use the energy, because production is there, but sometimes we are unable to consume it because how much can we use? So if we could just give a simple example, well, not simple, but if we could give an area like Karamoja, just the discovery of minerals and the number of industries, cement, marble that are coming up, the amount of electricity they need. So what we are providing now with Karuma switched on, you might find in the next 2-3 years is not even sufficient. With all these industrial parks that we are now promoting, each of them needs power and water as basics. You know, so do we have enough? So if all this come up in the next 2-3 years, you'll find the 2000 is not enough. So we must have a plan, and we do have a plan to expand not only generation, but also other sources of energy. Uganda is also promoting nuclear, that's another source, and we're encouraging more people to use solar. We're also promoting ethanol as an alternative source of energy. So all these are part of Uganda's bigger plan to stabilize, to have more stable power, but also there are plans to improve the infrastructure. The Karuma project also had the interconnection. That is part of the improvement of the infrastructure plan.
You've actually touched on my other question, and it's about, of course, Uganda's vision. We've been talking about industrialization. Like every year, the last couple of years, the budget has always factored in the issue of industrialization. So Karuma coming onto grid, what is the expected impact in terms of industrialization goals as well as the economic transformation?
First of all, we expect more stability, reliability of power. So of course, when you have sufficient power, issues of shedding off load should not really arise. If it happens once in a while, but not because you have insufficient capacity. It could be maybe because of the poor network or the old network. We know that our network is generally old, so there's that general move to refurbish it. So maybe that should be the only reason that maybe for so many hours, today, 3 hours, we shall be building this section, but not that we can't generate or there's insufficient power. So that should be a thing of the past. But in terms of industrialization, every industrialist, every factory, every industry wants stable power. There are people who have shown interest in investing in the country. These industrial parks we are setting up. But the issue is always like, your power is unreliable. From our feasibility studies, it's not safe to set up an industry because of unreliable power. Or the product is more expensive than it should have been because they must have those alternative sources of power that are more expensive. So of course, if they're using heavy diesel generators, it's more expensive. I mean, it's like being in Kalangala, where they have been having that alternative. The unit cost of power is higher because of the generation cost. So that's the same applies to the industries, is that the cost should automatically come down. Already the government has a policy where industries are purchasing at 5 cents. There's also the alternative of getting rid of the reeling fees where they are buying maybe through an existing network. But government has provided a provision where industries can be served directly from the substation. So automatically the cost of energy would go down, it would make it cheaper, it would make the production cost cheaper, the industrialist is happy, the consumers are happy because the products are more affordable.
Your parting shot as we come to the tail end of this interview?
My parting shot is that as a government of Uganda, of course, we are happy, we're excited, we congratulate the visionary direction of the president who ensured that we get funds for this, who had the conviction that Ugandans can do this. As you know that this project was part funded by government of Uganda, but also the belief in the capacity of the technical team for Ugandans to supervise this. We had a team from Ministry of Energy, a team from Generation, a team from Transmission overseeing this. It's a step in the right direction. Already our team from Generation is going to be able to run that just like they're doing in Isimba. And as part of the second generation reforms in the energy sector of ensuring that government basically takes ownership of some key strategic areas, this is in the right direction. That way there's control on pricing, but also control on investment in the right direction so that it's in line with the national development plans.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Great.